Okay, so there is just a new class aligned just before our batch. So the room is not free because of that class got late by half an hour. Hopefully it is just for 3 days and some arrangement will be made. Okay, then we'll continue on the same time. So yesterday we discussed about mapping in Spring Data JPM, where we have discussed about one-to-one mapping, one-to-many mapping, and many-to-many mapping as well. Already we have discussed these three, and today we are going to discuss about many-to-many, where many records will be mapped to other records. Many-to-many mapping. So at first we will understand a real life example for many-to-many mapping. Let's say you have there are three different students, student 1, student 2, and student 3. So we have these three students, and we have some of the courses: React JS, Spring Boot and microservices, and you can say Angular. Now, at first, all the students are learning Spring Boot and microservices. All the three students are learning Spring Boot and microservices. This, what is this kind of relation right now? What is this relation right now? Many data are aligned to one in the right side. So if we go left to right, it is many to one. Many pupils are related to a single entity. Relations are reflexive also. Means if it is many to one, then it will be one to many also. If you are going from right to left like this. So all the students are enrolled in Spring Boot and microservices. This student 1 is also enrolled in React JS batch. This student 2 is also enrolled in React JS batch. Now here many pupils are related to many pupils. Now in this case it becomes a many to many relation where multiple student can take multiple courses. So in this case, it became many to many. Many to many mapping means that multiple entities will be related to other multiple entities. The best example we can take here is the relation between students and courses. For an example, one student can take multiple courses and one course can be taken by multiple students. So it becomes your many to many mapping, where multiple entities will be related to many, like this. So let's understand how we will implement it. So we will create a database for it first. Okay, and we'll start creating a new project. We will add the dependency of MySQL driver, Spring Data JPA, and Lombok. So here we got the project. We'll just create the packages here. So two packages are main. One is entity package and one is repository package. In entity, we will create two classes. One is student class and one is course class. We will create their repositories, but before that, this student should be a entity. Its object should be managed by Spring. It should have getter setter methods. Now we will generate their private fields. Course will have a student will have ID that will be of type int. which will be primary key as well. Like this we will create. Same way, I want the table of courses. I want its object, getter setter methods. Here course ID will be string instead of int. Okay. So here we have created the student class as well as the course class. We will create their repositories as well. So student repo, it should extend the JPA repository. Class name is student and ID is in integer. Same way we will create repository for course. Now we'll just start the main application, but we have to add the database properties. So already we have written all of them. We'll just copy paste. In application.properties. Just database I will change from one to many to many, like this. And we will start the application. This we will write to create, so that it is creating tables every time. So it has created one course table and one student table, right? Now we will do mapping here. So let's first open the classes. A student can enroll in multiple courses. In multiple courses. Private list of course. Course. And it will follow the many to many mapping. What it will follow? It will follow the many to many mapping. Right now we are not giving mapping to courses. We are just giving a mapping to the students. Let's execute the program now. So it has done something there. We will just check. When we are throwing it, it has created three tables. One table for course, one for student, and one for student course. Again, the same reason. Why it is not creating in the same table? Because primary key will get duplicate and it will throw us error. Let's check the description of course table. Very sorted. Description of student table, again ID and name, and we have student and course as well, like this. So here you are getting student's ID and course ID, and you will see no one is the primary key here. In the section of key, they are MUL. Multiple values are supported because multiple student can have multiple courses. None of them can be a primary key here. Now, let's try to persist some of the values. Persist means just save, nothing else. So here we will say application context container. Container is created. We need object of both entity classes and both repository interface. Student s equals to container dot get bean student dot class. The scope of student and class I will keep as prototype because we know what will be the problem if we are not keeping it. Prototype. So at first I will take the object of student repo. The same way we will take object of course repo. Now we will create first course. What we will do? We will create our first course, that is course, or directly we can create a list here. So for that it's very easy. You can create a constructor with superclass, or let's create it manually. You will not have any confusion. Course C1 equals to container dot get bean course dot class, and we will prepare this. So C1 dot set ID, course ID is RJS. C1 dot set name, course name is React JS. This is the first course. Same way we will create the second course as well. That is going to be course C2. Course ID will be Spring Boot Microservices, SBMS. Now we have prepared these two courses. Now we will prepare a list of these courses. So the list of course C list equals to new array list. And we will say C list dot add C1 and C list dot add C2. Here we will add both the courses. Now we will prepare the first student. That is student S1 equals to container dot get bean student dot class. S1 dot set ID. ID I will say anything 101 like that. S1 dot set name. Name, let's say Shrikar. We have to give this student a course list. I will provide the C list. The same way, I will add a third course, course C3, C3, and here it is having AJS or simple ANG, Angular. So this is a third course now for Angular. Same way we need to prepare a list here. We need to prepare a list here. So let's see what you'll do. So here S1 we have created. To the S1 we have given the C list. Here we will create the second student, that is S2. Same way. And when we are setting the course, so let's try to create a array list here. So I will say new array list, new array list, and list of, you can try to provide the values. So course 1 and course 3. So if I am writing in this way, it will not take. You have to provide one method here, that is list of. Now here I can say list of C1 and C3. So directly I am just providing it here, that list of C1 and C3. Now we will ask course list cr dot save all. Now it takes a list. So here also I can create a new array list, and here list of C1, C2, C3, because we need to save all the three courses. And same way I will say student repository dot save all. Here also I will create new array list and list of S1 and S2. So we are trying to save like this. So at first we will check the student table. Here we are getting only one student. Okay, we'll check course as well. There is some problem here. Okay, same value I have saved. My bad. Third course is having ID as ANG, name as Angular. Second course is this one. So, sorry for, wait. Typo. So again, it has written lot of queries. We'll check our data again. So we are getting two students independently. We are getting three courses: Angular, React.js, and Spring Boot and microservices. Here we will fetch the data from student course as well. And where a student with the ID 101 is enrolled in React.js, student with the ID 101 is also enrolled in Spring Boot and microservices. A student with the ID 102 is enrolled in React and Angular. So multiple courses are related to multiple student, and multiple student are related to multiple courses. So like that we are doing it here. Now this is a very simple normal kind of mapping that we are having here. Let's try to change their scenario. So in the student table, if you check, we are mapping this particular course list. But when we are having course, because it will be also having the relation with the student, list relation only, means many to many. They are also going to have many to many relation. Now in that case, what I will do, here we are saving student to their courses. We are not saving courses to their student. So here we will say C1 dot set as list, or you can change this column to students only. So C1 dot set students. How many students are taking? Okay, let's say I'm not saving anything here. We'll just start the application casually. So some of the queries are fired here, but interesting thing is to check the tables, 4 tables, because students are having relation with course. The same way courses are also having relation with students. We are having 3 courses, all right. 2 students, all right. A student course, same way. Now we'll check courses with the student. Course underscore student. Table name is students. There is no value because we are not saving any value. So we have to map the students as well. So let's talk about C1. C1 dot set student. How many students are having C1? Student 1 and student 2. Both are having. So you can provide an array list here. That new array list of S1 and S2. After that, we will save the same thing to C2. C2 course is taken by only student 1, S1. The same way, C3 course is taken by student 2 only, and same way we'll start the program. Now it is throwing us some of the errors, and expected error these are actually. And when it is throwing the error after doing all the select, alter, drop table, create table operation. Now it is saying that unable to find student with ID 101. So the reason is here we are trying to set one student before it is saved in the database. So cut this line and paste it here and save the student the courses, and again we have to save the courses after changing them. So it has fired the query this time. Lot of queries it has fired. Student, all right. Course, all right. Student course, all right. Course students. Now here student ID same, means the same kind of table is getting matched. But here if you see student ID is getting completed first, 101 101 means regularity is maintained by the students. Then next student will start, because of course it is a student mapped to the course table. Here courses are mapped to student table. So first React JS is completed, then Spring Boot completed, then Angular completed. So like that you are getting this thing here. Now also it's very common thing, we just kept the annotation. In the courses table, I will write one particular sentence here. Sentence I will say that it is mapped by. It is mapped by. In courses there is a student list. So I will say mapped by courses. Just like that I will say. And when we are going to the student class, it is having a list of courses. In that way, it's so simple actually. At first, I will write a annotation, join table, join table, because yesterday we saw this also. In join table, I will provide the name. Name I will provide as stu underscore course. Just this only I will provide, that join table name equals to stu underscore course. Like this we will provide. Let's execute the main application. And it is throwing error. And again, it is also expected. Now it is saying that it has error by creating a bean. Actual error will be something else. So what it is saying that collection com.jpa.entity.courses.student is mapped by a property courses which does not exist in the target entity. So we'll see in the student class, the field name is course and we are creating by courses. We have to change it. Means whenever you are writing mapped by, you can only provide the reference of one field which is already available there. Which is already available there. Now here when I did this part, at first check the tables. Show tables. We got how many tables? 5 tables. We got how many tables here? 5. So you will get a confusion here because we get one table as student underscore course and stu under course. So what we will do? We will do drop database Many to many. At first I will delete the database and then I will create the database. So that inside this we are not having any table now, and our application will create all the tables again. Okay, we'll start our application. How many tables we are having? Course, student, and stu course. Course to student we are not getting this time. The reason is we'll discuss. But how we are getting this stu underscore course table? If you check carefully in the student class, I am only providing. Then when you are joining the table, this time I'm not writing join column. What I'm writing? Join table means join the complete table itself. The name of table will be stu underscore course. This will be the name of this table. Now, already we have done this. Keep a comma here for writing the next property. Next property, I will say that now you are joining the columns. So here I will keep join columns, and join column equals to, here I will write second property, that join columns equals to at the rate join column, at the rate of join column. And here you can provide a name here. What name we can provide here? So in the join column, at first I will provide the name, that how I want this name to come. I want this name to come as stu underscore id, stu underscore id, because it will create something like this. So description of stu underscore course, students underscore id. I am changing this column name to stu underscore id. Once you are done with this, again we will provide a second particular thing here. Now whenever join columns is working, it takes first value that what you are joining. Whenever you are joining the column, it takes which column you are joining. Second, it takes that what is the inverse column from that table. So here we will provide one property, that is inverse join columns. What we are providing? Inverse join column. Here we will say join column annotation. Here also we will provide the name. Name equals to course, or you can say CRS ID, course ID. Inverse join column means the column from the next table, the column from the next particular table. And why it is throwing error? Hmm. Okay, sorry. Here it is an attribute, not an annotation. So J will be small. Join columns. Now we have done this particular part, that whenever you are joining my column, then stu underscore id. Whenever you are joining the inverse column, at that time CRS ID you have to keep. We'll go back, start. So again it has created something. At first we will check the tables. Three tables. We will check the STU course table, STU ID and CRS ID. So that we are getting here. So that is why it works. The case is why we are not getting course to student ID or course to student table. The answer is simple, because you are writing here mapped by courses, mapped by course. So whenever you are writing this mapped by, the field that owns the relationship required, unless the relationship is unidirectional. So it is telling that you have to write mapped by. Mapped by means it is required to write. If you are not writing, in that case, the relationship will be unidirectional. Unidirectional means only one is caring, another one is not caring. So in this case, if I am providing here mapped by course, this field owns the relationship. Owns the relationship means, let's say I will remove it. Removed. And again we will create our table. Now we are hitting with some of the errors. Error means, let's say, so the first problem that we got here is this, that you are trying to write something as collection, but it is not a collection. It simply means you are trying to write something like this here, that join columns, join table, student ID, inverse join column. Let me explain you it in a clear way. Now there is one student, Shrikar, and there is one course, React.js. There is one course, React.js. Now try to understand about one thing. Shrikar can decide that whether he want to learn React.js or not. True or not? Shrikar can decide that, okay, I want to learn React.js. I don't want to learn React.js. Can a course decide that no, no, I will only come into the mind of Shrikar? Is it possible? No. A course cannot decide that, okay, I will only come into the mind of Shrikar. I will not go into the brain of Shankar. I don't like Shankar. A course cannot decide. Ownership of relation is truly required. So here Shrikar can decide comfortably, if there is a choice given to Shrikar, that one course is React.js that you can choose. Another course is Angular.js that you can choose. So now it depends on Srikar, right? That either he will choose React.js, that I am having interest in React, he will learn React, or else Srikar can choose Angular.js, that okay, I don't like React, I will choose Angular. It's totally depend on Srikar. Who is the owner here to decide something? Srikar. Srikar. Here Srikar is the owner to decide something. Now, React, what Shrikar did? Shrikar decided to choose React.js. But React.js is saying, no, no, don't decide me. Go to the Angular. Is it possible? Not at all possible. So, in many to many, ownership of the relation is truly required. And what we are doing? We are giving priority to the courses also, that you can select your student, that these are my student. We are giving or not? To the courses also we are giving priority, that you can choose the students. So is there any problem? Answer is yes. Now let's try to run the same thing, many to many mapped by course, And here we are doing a lot of things. We'll start, and it has created tables and written the data into that. We'll check it. So at first we will check the data in student table properly coming. Then we will check student and course table. Here also React.js, Spring Boot, React.js, Angular, all sorted. Let's check the table of course here. Courses are also having, this course is not having any field of student, and there is no table also, because you are only writing here that it is mapped by courses. Mapped by courses means courses are dominant by the student. Mapped by courses means course will follow the order of students. Student will not follow the order of course. So that is the reason of this mapped by. Now whosoever is the owner, it defines the ownership, that who is the owner. So this mapped by course written over the student field, it means that students are the owner of course. Courses are not the owner. Technically these three things whatever we are doing here is not at all required. We are not required to set any student to the course. In that case, what will be the problem? Ownership issue. Ownership issue, or you can say unidirectional relationship. And these kind of relationships are very uh, tragic. Unidirectional, or there will be a ownership issue there. So that is called many to many mapping, where you have to take care of these particular things. Let's say here I am not writing these things, means join table, this, that. No, I'm not writing. But course will be having mapped by course field. We will start the application. And it has written the values. We will just check the tables here, that is show tables. Now it has created the, okay, student course table, because we removed that line. Now also working tables are three only. This STU course is not a working table now. Drop table STU underscore course. Hmm. We will start the application again. Three tables, and ownership is with the student, not with the course. So whenever this word is attached in your relationships in data JPA, many, at that time you have to mention who is the owner. Who is the owner? So many to many requires that particular attribute. Who is the owner of the relationship? Because as a student can decide the course. How can a course decide that no, I will not come into the brain of this student? Not possible. Okay. So that is how we do mapping. Now I am leaving one task here, and the task is okay. The task is students are required to modify the student underscore course table in such a way that in such a way that it is showing, now it is showing student id and student course id. It is showing student name and course name along with student id and course id. This is what you are required to do. You just have to write one join column attribute here and you will do it. Already I have shown it by combining all the columns. You just have to apply that. And this is called many to many mapping. Understood? Understood? How? Okay. Today I was taking one Java interview and I asked one question, and the person who was giving the interview was having an experience in Java development of 5 years. Same question I'm asking to you. Can we create a method inside a method in Java? Can we create method inside method? No? No? Yes. Okay, one yes answer also came. Yes, sir. Come here. Rishwant is saying yes. Rishwant, how we can create method inside method? Srikar is also saying, Srikar, how can we create? In main method, we can write multiple method. We can create class. What is this? We can create class inside method, not method inside method. But my question is, can we create a method inside a method in Java? No. Srikar is saying we can create multiple method inside main method. Are you sure? Are you sure? Okay, we'll create then. So already we have one main class here. I think as we are having. So this is my main class, right? And main method is also there. Here I will try to create a public void run method. Shrikar, why it is throwing error? You said we can create multiple methods. Here I am creating only one method, not even multiple. Huh? So the answer is yes. We can create method inside method. And there is no trick actually. It's given by Java to you that you can create method inside method. The person also said, no, we can't create. And the second question I asked, can we create an infinite loop without using any loop? This was my second question. Can we create an infinite loop without using any loop? Means for while, do while, for each, for off, for in. No loop is allowed. Switch, no, nothing. Can we create? Yes. Who said? Rohit. How? Because the answer of previous question was yes. So the question of question mark. You didn't understood my question. Without using any loop, you don't have to use any loop. Means using for, while, do while, switch, break, continue, nothing is allowed. These are the two questions here. And these two questions are related to each other actually. You have seen infinite scrolling on Instagram. There is no ending of that loop. How? You scroll it 24 by 7. It will give you new reels on every scroll. How is that working? There might be some coding behind that, right? So there are multiple ways, and here we have one of the multiple ways like this. And the answer for both of these questions is related to each other. So I asked them together. The answer of first question is yes. And the answer of second question is also yes. And don't think that it is a topic from Spring Boot or it is a topic from advanced. No, core part only. Core to core part. Let's see how we will do. So at first, I will create a main method simply like this. I will create one public void. You can say hello method. Public void hello method. Right now, this hello method is throwing a error that it's a void not allowed here. This, that. I'll say no problem. I will just create something here. I will say there is a utility class in Java that is timer task. Timer task equals to new timer task. And whatever method I have created, I will keep inside this timer task. Like this, keep a semicolon here. And you will see that we are writing here timer task equal to new timer task. And then we are writing a public void hello method. Here I will print something, anything you can print here, that hello world at, and we will print the time, that at what time you are saying hello. So you can directly call the date object here from utility classes. So here I have done that hello world at new date. So like that we have provided here. And this is called a utility class. First of all, this timer class is a utility class. Okay, it is throwing some error here and implemented method. Run method. Public void run. And it is just printing hello world. Now at first we are able to create one method inside a method. Now how to create infinite loop? So here only I will use the timer. Timer equals to new timer, and we will execute that timer dot schedule task after 102 milliseconds. So here I have provided this schedule takes two things. First, a task that it has to execute. Second, delay of second, how much second delay it will take. And third, after how many second it will repeat itself. Kind of a loop. If you run this, you will get the output in this format. So after every 2 seconds, it will run, and it is an infinite loop now, like this. Hello world at Wednesday, May 21, 2028, 050709, because you have provided 2000 milliseconds. So after every 2 seconds, it will give you. By the way, Insta updated its reel section after every 15 seconds. Means open your Insta, scroll very quickly, like very quickly, don't see any reel, and see the magic. Insta will buffer at that time, because that also take at least 50 seconds to take a next collection for you. You open today the reel section and scroll continuously. Don't watch any reel, just scroll, and you will see at a time Insta is buffering, means it is trying to load the next reel, because it also takes around 15 seconds of buffer to load the next collection. So now it becomes a infinite loop without using any loop, and writing method inside method. We use it actually whenever, huh? How to stop this? Close the program like this. We are taking anonymous class. How you are taking anonymous class? Because whenever we are scheduling the task, I will ask you how to schedule the task. Huh? That's why I teach, na? Right? Function recursion is example. Actually, function recursion is an example of loop, but that has limit. My question was infinite loop. Recursion is not infinite until and unless you forcefully make it. Now, where we will use these kind of concept in our programming. So when now Spring MVC will start, hopefully more 2 days here. So Friday or Saturday like that we will start. Now let's open any particular website where the same concept is used. You searched any e-commerce website and search for any product. That is generally called pagination. I have already talked about pagination. Now here you will get multiple pages like this. I will click on 10th page. Now it is loading quickly because in one single time it is only showing you 10 pages, and these 10 pages it has already loaded. Now scheduler is working for other pages. How? What is the maximum page that you can click here? 15 means the 16th page is in the timer task. If you click on 15, then you will get the 16th page, and now the maximum will be, you can go to 20, reverse you can go to 11, right? So we will use these kind of concepts here. Lucky understood that it is not an anonymous class. Sorry. What the interview person? No and no. Ah, both the no answer. Okay. What is transaction? Now we have sort of theory topics here. What is a transaction? Sorry. Transaction management. I am asking what is transaction? How will you define this particular part? End-to-end task completed. No, that is not transaction. I was expecting this answer from you. How you will best define a transaction? One amount credited, one amount. So what do you think? Transaction is only of money. Transaction is only of money. How you will best define this word transaction? Now here we have transaction, and in transaction we will discuss about asset properties. Then we have transactional annotation. Then we have propagation level, pagination and sorting. That's it. Hopefully from Saturday we'll start Spring MVC. Yes. How you will best define this word transaction? Anyone? Shankar? A transaction. Okay, if I am writing one word here, performing the task. Here I am printing one message. Today is 21st May. Is it a transaction? How? Who is saying this? Yes. Lucky, how is it a transaction? Please elaborate. How this is a transaction? There is no receiver. Okay, let's understand one example here. Completed the task without any break. Where is the transaction in this, man? There is no transaction in that. Let's understand this is your bank. I will start with the online offline money transaction only. So this is your bank. What happened is you went to your bank and you have credited, or you can say deposited, you have deposited 10,000 rupees. Next day again you went to the bank and you have withdrawn 5,000 rupees. Third day also you went to the bank and in the third day you checked the balance, checked the bank balance and came back. Now, in which particular day you did the transaction? This is day 1. Here, this is day 2. And here, this is day 3. In which particular day you did the transaction? All. All the day you did transaction. How it is possible? That, huh? First 2 days. Why not third day? You checked the balance. That is not transaction. Then why printing something can become a transaction? Huh? So what you can conclude from here? Okay, one more hint I will give. When you deposited 10,000 rupees in your account, when you deposited 10,000 rupees in your account, there is state of one particular thing that will change. That is your bank balance. Your bank balance will update. Right or wrong? Your bank balance will be updated. So in the first case, it will update by plus 10,000. Right or wrong? In the first case, your bank balance will be updated by 10,000. Now, in the second case, your bank balance will be updated by minus 5,000. Right or wrong? In the third case, your bank balance will be unchanged. Your bank balance will be unchanged. There will be no change in your bank balance. So transaction means where the values are getting updated. Then only you can say that it is a transaction in database. So we generally have CRUD operation, right? And you can say that these are the database transaction. Yes, you can say that these are the database transaction. Create means you are adding the value. Adding the value means database will update. Adding the value means database will update. Updating the value means database will update. Deleting the value means database will update. There is only one case that is called the read operation where database will remain unchanged. Read is the only operation where database will remain unchanged because you are not doing any operation here. For an example, let's say here I have created a table. I will show you. At first I have written a show table query. How many tables are there in this? Three tables. Now, when I written this query, is there anything updated? No, nothing is updated. Now, I will create one table. Create table test. It will have one ID in int. Simple table. When I am running this query, now it is saying query okay. Zero row affected. Last time also I have written a query. Why didn't it say that query okay? Displaying the existing thing, but I am writing a query, right? I am saying if I am writing show tables, it is a query or not? Then why it is not telling that query okay? Nothing is updated. Nothing is changed. Now, when I am writing this query, create table test ID int, I will write the show tables again. Now here something got updated because it was a transaction into the database. Now I will insert some data into that table. So I will say insert into test value 1 query. Okay. Because again, something got changed. Now I will hit select asterisk from test query. Okay. Again, it is not saying that this query is okay, right? Again, it is not saying that this query is okay. Why? Because nothing is getting updated. You run this query 1,000 times. What it will change? Nothing. It will not change anything in database. So reading operation is not a true transaction. It is a pseudo transaction where database is just giving you values. Internally, database is not updating anything. It is like, let's say tomorrow I am coming to class and I am teaching you something that okay, this is the definition of transaction. Means after I taught you the definition of transaction, I will forget that. Means after giving the definition into the brain of 60 people, I will forget that. No, I will not forget that. Same, I am the database here who is giving you the values. I am not forgetting. If there is any button that you can press so that I am forgetting the entire spring, that you can do. Delete all operation. So select is not a transaction. Now we will write a query here. What we will write? I will say again, same insert query I will run, value 2. Again query is okay. One row affected. Means when you written this query, one row was affected. Now IDs are 1, 2. Can we update this ID too? Because there is no other column now. Can we update this? So we can write update table, update test, set ID equals to 3, where ID equals to 2. Will it work or not? Work. So it is working fine. Why? It's not primary key, by the way. You can change. Now when I'm writing this update query, at that time also something changed in my database. Again, I will hit the select query, select asterisk from test 1 and 3. Something got changed into the database, means a transaction happened between the user and the database. Here I will write delete from table where ID is equals to 3. Delete from test where ID equals to 3. And when I did the delete query, then also one row got affected. Means my database is having something changed. Now, I will give you one question. Here I will say insert into test value. Okay. I am not providing any value. Okay. I am not providing any value. So we will check the table now. So select asterisk from test. Here null is coming. Now I want to delete this null value. How I can delete? Delete from test where id equals to null. Like this. Id is null. Yes. Very good. Here the value of id is not equals to null. Here you are providing null as a string. If you are writing where id equals to null, id is not equals to null. Id is null. Very good, Shrikar. This time, first time you gave a good answer. So here, this is what you can do. Let's come back to transaction. So a true transaction, we can only say that a unit of work is getting executed and it is making some changes into the values, either by updating them, either by inserting new values or by creating new values. So technically the create operation, update operation and delete operation, these all three are the transaction. However, the read is not a true transaction. It is not a true transaction. However, it is also a transaction. That is called pseudo transaction, but not true. And we will discuss rest thing tomorrow. Okay. Practice all the mappings. Don't skip anything. Fine, guys. We'll connect again tomorrow. Have a nice time, everyone. Bye bye. Take care.